I'm looking for all. It's gotta be lined up. The more it lined up on the technical key level and everything, the more possible I will win.
That's a solid approach. Having everything lined up gives you a much stronger edge. When technical indicators, key levels, and price action all align, it increases the probability of a successful trade. It's like having all the pieces of the puzzle come together. Are you focusing on any specific time frames to get the clearest picture, or do you use multiple time frames to confirm the setup?
Right now I check two pair across the board. Swiss franc. Now I managed to put into 3 minutes and look at it in a small to get my real estate to read back to the far left side, and every key, every pair across the board are showing that Swiss franc are strong, and the Swiss franc is a good pair to look at today, I think, compared to the Japanese yen. Japanese yen, I have to fight with the Japanese government. I don't know if they are gonna suddenly fighting back and make the thing chaos unexpectable, for the Japanese government are so big.
It sounds like you're carefully.
You gone? Where are you? Let's check what happened. Alright, you go. Some issue happening here. Let's call him back. Anyway, before that, I like to put it back. And the internet, my computer have issue. Okay, getting back. Alright, take me time to walk across the world to get this guy up and run. Reading. Hello there. Are you hearing me? Am I supposed to open a microphone like this? Okay, maybe I have come across the issue where my system is full. I need to delete all of this March, January. This need to be delete. This one, delete. January. It's good thing that you can delete. I was thinking that you cannot delete this. I like it to delete to give me more space. Delete. See if it's got enough space now. Delete. little bit. Let's see if he's ready. Not yet. Have to delete. Alright, this thing has to annoying me. I should do it beforehand. Let's see, my last try. Yeah, he's back. Alright. Are we back?
Got it. How's your trading going today? Any particular
was
setup
left
you're
off-
watching?
I left off with the Swiss franc. I said Swiss franc and JPY. If I have to deal with the JPY, I have to deal with the government of the Japanese. And they are very big, powerful. Do I gonna fight with the Japanese yen? And Japanese yen today is strong, but not strong. Swiss franc is more strong because it's
It sounds like you're recognizing the power and influence of the Japanese government in relation to the yen. The Japanese government, especially through the Bank of Japan, BOJ, can significantly affect the value of the yen with their monetary policies. If the yen is strong today, it could be due to a combination of factors, such as market sentiment, BOJ policies, or external economic pressures. When dealing with the JPY, it's crucial to understand these influences, as they can lead to volatile movements. You're right, fighting against the Japanese yen when it's strong might not be the best move. It's important to look for signs that the market could turn or that momentum is shifting, especially if you're planning to trade it. Are you tracking specific pairs involving the JPY today?
US CAT, US JPY, CAT JPY is where it brings me to Swiss franc across the board here now. The next pair I would across the board, I like to check the CAT JPY, the CAT group.
You're looking at some solid pairs there, especially with CAD JPY. The CAD is influenced by oil prices, as Canada is a major oil exporter, while the JPY, as we discussed, is strongly tied to the Japanese government's policies. Watching CAD JPY could be interesting if you're tracking both the oil market and Japanese yen strength. If you're thinking about CAD JPY, it's good to keep an eye on both commodity price movements and any Japanese economic data or BOJ statements that might affect the yen. Have you noticed any specific price action or levels in CAD JPY recently that caught your attention?
Because of the CAT is more like gonna be a strong move down, and I need to check the CAT across the board. And now I'm open a group of CAT across the board, and I hope it's loading up for me. It's very slow internet, and my chart is not.
I see you're keeping a close eye on CAD across the board, particularly if it's showing signs of a strong move down. Checking the CAD pairs can definitely give you a clearer picture of overall CAD strength or weakness, especially as you track oil prices, which heavily impact the CAD. Hopefully, the internet speeds up for you soon so you can load up the charts. Once you get them, look for any confirmation from the other CAD pairs to validate your observation. Any particular pair or level in CAD JPY that you think might give you a good entry signal?
Right now I have a CAT 5-minute time frame run up and open. I still have to check briefly how they align or how
Got
they
it?
correlate.
You're looking at the 5-minute time frame for CAD right now. It's always a good idea to check the smaller time frames for entry signals, especially when you're monitoring short-term moves. Once the chart loads, you'll want to keep an eye on price action to see if there are any signs of weakness or reversal points that could line up with your expectation of a move down. Is there a specific key level you're watching on the 5-minute chart, or are you just focusing on the general trend for now?
I'm looking for which direction of the CAT according to in here, and my chart is very big. I need to make it smaller to see a whole real estate on the left side hand, but let's look at roughly without doing that. I see the 36 MA and 56 MA is CAD is Swiss franc is under the 36 MA, and it's like running downhill, like we were there before. CAD is weak. CAD JPY, CAD is weak, running down.
It sounds like you're seeing the
36
CAD
MA.
showing weakness as it's below the 36 MA, and the 56 MA is also confirming the downward trend. With CAD under those moving averages, it's a good sign that the momentum is bearish. You're correct to track the MA crossovers, especially when the price is running downhill. It indicates that sellers are in control for now. While your chart is a bit hard to navigate at the moment, it's smart to watch how the CAD pairs react across the board to confirm this weakness. It's also worth keeping an eye on any support levels or areas where price could potentially find some pause or reversal. When you zoom out and get a better view, be sure to watch for any stronger signs of consolidation or reversal as you continue tracking the CAD. Does this align with your strategy, or are there other factors you're looking at for a clearer signal?
I'm looking for window shopping if I have to look through CAD pair across the board. CAD is weak. Which one is good to go with weak pair? The strongest pair is Swiss franc. It eat up Japanese yen. It must be strong. And across the Swiss franc across the board, 3 minutes time frame, Swiss franc is dominant. So CAD is weak. So I will put it CAD with Swiss franc to trade if I have to pick out from this window shopping.
It makes sense. If the CAD is showing weakness and you've identified that the Swiss franc CHF is dominant, pairing the weak CAD with the strong CHF could be a solid move. The Swiss franc often acts as a safe haven currency, and when it's strong, it tends to outperform weaker currencies like the CAD. Since you're focusing on the 3-minute time frame and seeing the Swiss franc as dominant, it's a good choice to consider CAD CHF as a potential trade. You're aligning the trend of the stronger CHF with the weaker CAD, which could lead to a profitable move if that setup continues. Are you seeing any key levels on the CAD CHF pair, or are you waiting for a confirmation signal on the 3-minute chart before entering?
They are already run away from this, they break this support where the Asian market opening price, they breached this. And since that, they breached at the London open market, and they haven't returned to pull back for me to get in or come back and lift me up. Don't leave without me. I want that, or a stop loss, grabbing, hunting, liquidity, whatever. They need to pull back for me. They are gold, straight waterfall down, and give me no chance to get in. If they don't come back to pick me up, I'm not gonna get in.
It sounds like the CAD CHF pair has already made a strong move after breaching the support, and since the London Open, it's been a one-way move without a pullback. You're absolutely right. If the price doesn't return to provide a solid entry point or trigger that "don't leave without me" move, the long wick or pullback you're looking for, then it's wise to stay out. It's key to avoid chasing the market if you're not getting the proper setup. If the price continues to cascade downward without any retracement, it might be better to wait for another opportunity. The market doesn't always give you a chance to get in right away, especially on a strong move like this. Have you been watching for any signs that a pullback might happen soon, or are you just waiting for the market to give you that perfect entry point?
I'm looking to screen down to the final, the best pair to pick. This is the window shopping time.
Got it. You're in window shopping mode, scanning through all the pairs to find the best setup. This is the time to assess and compare, and with CAD weak and CHF strong, you're narrowing down to the pair that offers the most favorable opportunity. It's smart to look for that one pair that aligns with both your analysis of strength and weakness across the board and the price action you're tracking. Are you focusing only on the CAD pairs for now, or are you considering other pairs with similar setups like USD Chef or EUR Chef that might also fit the bill?
I trying to weaving through the technique where I can.
It sounds like you're in the process of evaluating, taking your time to find the right pair. It's good to be patient during this window shopping phase and let the best opportunities come to you. Are you seeing anything that stands out so far in your scan, or do you feel like you need to adjust your approach to narrow it down further?
I'm just gonna put my line to where they should return to respect this line and get further down, give me a lower low. They have to pull back to the line that I just put in.
That's a solid approach, placing your line at a level where you expect the price to respect and then continue lower. By marking that level, you're anticipating a pullback that could give you a better entry for a lower low. It's a good way to stay patient and wait for the price to come to you. Once the price respects that line and starts heading down, you can confirm the setup and take action. How far are you setting that line from the current price, or are you looking at a specific price point based on recent support or resistance levels?
Just back to the resistance or support. The first one. I put my line there.
Got it? You're setting your line at the previous resistance or support level, which makes sense. Those areas often serve as key turning points for price to react, whether it's bouncing back or continuing in the same direction. If the price returns to that level, it could give you a clearer picture of whether to expect a continuation or a reversal. Are you also watching for any signs of momentum, like candles or volume, once the price hits that level? Or will you strictly rely on the price action around support resistance?
I'm looking for everywhere what is come first, and then I digest to the next, like the stochastic, the MACD, to line up the volume, the ATR, everything to the final, if they are lining up.
That's a comprehensive approach, taking everything into account, like stochastic, MACD, volume, and ATR, to confirm the setup before making a move. It's great to use multiple indicators to get a well-rounded view of the market and ensure that all signals align before entering. The combination of these indicators will give you a clearer idea of whether the pullback is legitimate and whether the market is poised for a further move down. Once everything lines up, you'll have a stronger conviction in your trade. Are you noticing any divergence or convergence with your indicators that could help confirm your view, or is everything still in a waiting phase?
I trying to put the trend line.
It sounds like you're in the process of setting something up. Could you share what you're trying to put in place? Maybe it's an indicator or a specific level you're trying to track.
I can't put the trend line or the ray line. It's not allowing me. I technical term, I need to learn this. The trend line I need to put there to mark where the trend direction from yesterday, day before yesterday, and now where they get the price. How do you help me how to put this trend line in the chart? I put the trend line menu bar and I get this symbol with my mouse, and then what I do, put left, press the left. Okay, I got it. Alright, now I put the trend line. The trend.
Great to hear you figured it out. It sounds like you're referring to the trend line tool, which helps mark the general direction of price movement by connecting key points like swing highs point, like the low from 2 days ago, to the most recent significant point, like yesterday's high or low. This will help you visualize the trend direction, whether it's upward or downward, and see where the price is relative to that trend. You can adjust the trend line as needed to match different points. Is that working for you now? Or are you seeing any challenges while trying to draw it?
It's working now. I just need to put this horizontal line and trend line. This will guide me when I look in a small window
Perfect.
frame.
It's great to hear the trend line is working. Now, for the horizontal line and thin line, if you want to add a horizontal line to mark key levels of support or resistance, you can usually find that tool in the same menu bar or chart options. Simply select it and click on the price level where you want to mark it. For the thin line, if you're referring to a simple line, like a reference line, you can use the line tool from the same place and adjust its thickness or style in the settings if needed. Do you have a specific level in mind where you want to place the horizontal or thin line?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
yeah, I put at the support and resistance for the horizontal line. That's the key for SNR. Support and resistance, the nearest one.
That's exactly right. Using horizontal lines to mark key support and resistance, SNR levels, is a great way to track price reactions at those areas. Support and resistance levels are crucial for understanding where price might bounce or break through. So having those lines clearly marked on your chart will help guide your decisions. Now that you've marked those levels, you can watch for price to approach them, especially with your other indicators lining up. These levels act as important reference points for your trade setups. Are you seeing any key price reactions around those lines that might suggest a potential trade, or are you waiting for further confirmation?
I have not done with my setup yet, so it's very enticing me that I want to jump in right away when I see this the candles moves. But really, it's a bad habit of me. I need to research, put times, and read the market the best I can before I pull the trigger.
It's great that you're aware of that tendency to jump in too early. It's definitely tempting when you see the candles moving, but being patient and waiting for the right setup is key to avoiding impulsive decisions. Taking the time to research the best times and reading the market properly can help you avoid chasing the market and make more calculated, confident moves. You've already marked the key levels, so now it's just a matter of waiting for those confirmations from your indicators and price action. It's like letting the market come to you rather than forcing a trade. What's your strategy for knowing when it's the right moment to pull the trigger? Do you rely on specific patterns, candlestick formations, or other factors?
Many factors: time of opening market, news event, fundamental support, and then technician with all the indicator equipped and lined up.
It sounds like you're combining multiple layers of analysis, which is a smart approach. Considering the market opening times, news events, and fundamental factors, along with your technical indicators, gives you a well-rounded view of the market. By aligning the timing of your trades with market opens, like the London or New York sessions, and key news releases, you can capitalize on volatility when it's most likely to move. Your fundamental analysis, like support levels and economic events, paired with technical signals, candlestick patterns, moving averages, etc., creates a more solid foundation for your trades. Do you have a particular news event or economic release you're watching closely today? Or are you waiting for a certain session to open before making your move?
There is a few news today, not so much of the news today. It's Monday. The market may be quiet today, according to there is no new impact. news impact is crucial because they behave like the gas to put into the fire, propel the trade to run fast, extreme training run with the news. They have a purpose to stay and run. Without news, they have no purpose. It couldn't be extra force to move the train.
You're absolutely right. News events act like fuel for the market, providing the extra momentum that pushes price action, especially during quieter times. On a Monday with fewer impactful news releases, the market may indeed be more subdued and slow. Without that news-driven energy, price movement can lack the strong momentum that traders often look for. It's smart to keep an eye on the calendar for any upcoming high-impact news, even if it's a quiet day today. As you said, without that extra push, the market can feel like it's running without a clear direction. Are you still focused on the CAD-CHF pair for today? Or are you considering a wait-and-see approach until a stronger setup develops?
Right now, I do my research quite a while.
It sounds like you're still in a bit of a waiting game. Given the quiet market today, it's probably best to stay patient and observe the price action without rushing in. You're already well positioned with your support resistance levels and technical analysis, so now it's just about waiting for the right moment when everything aligns. Are you planning to monitor any specific pairs or just keeping an eye on general market conditions until something more promising comes up?
Since so far roughly CAD is weak, I want to put the weak to the strong.
Since CAD is weak, it makes sense to be cautious and look for opportunities where the CAD might be paired with a stronger currency. You've already identified that CHF is strong today, so a CAD-CHF pair might be one to watch for a potential move. Given the weaker CAD and stronger CHF, you're in a good spot to keep an eye on how they interact with each other. Are you watching any particular key levels for the CAD-CHF or just waiting for a pullback to confirm the move?
I'm going to dissect CAD Swiss franc now. I'm going to top-down approach and give a little bit more to look for.
Sounds like you're ready to dive into the CAD-CHF pair. Breaking it down step by step will help you spot the most promising setups. Since you're focusing on the weak CAD and strong CHF, your approach might involve identifying where the CAD-CHF pair is likely to move based on that strength-weakness dynamic. You might want to start by looking for key levels like support and resistance, trend lines, and any price patterns that confirm your analysis. You can also use your indicators like stochastic and MACD to help time the entry when everything lines up. What's your first step in breaking down the CAD-CHF today? Are you focusing on any particular time frame or level to start your analysis?
I'm at the monthly now. It looks like CAD so weak, a long way, and just break out from the first, from the range to further down, which is already is overextending price, but it's overextend. It look like extremely weak for the CAD to switch from at monthly. So the downhill is the big player is dumping the CAD.
It sounds like you're seeing a strong downtrend on the monthly chart for CAD, with a clear breakout from a range and a continuation move down. If CAD is overextended on the monthly time frame, that could mean it's reaching an extreme point, which may signal a potential for reversal or at least a pullback, but only if the strength of the sell-off starts to fade. Given that you're identifying the DAL-Q big player as dumping the CAD, you're likely observing a major move driven by large-scale market participants, which could drive CAD further down unless there's a shift in sentiment. Since you're analyzing on the monthly chart, You might want to zoom in on smaller time frames to look for short-term entry key resistance levels to confirm a short entry, or are you planning to wait for additional signs of reversal before acting?
When I look my targets on cat Swiss franc now, I make my top-down approach by put the line of weekly line, monthly line. Like monthly is like magenta, weekly is like blue, not blue, turquoise, light blue. This is
I see you're applying your top-down approach and marking the key levels with the magenta line for the monthly and the blue line for the weekly. This method will give you a clear view of the broader market structure before zooming into shorter time frames for more precise entries. By doing this, you're ensuring that you're trading with the overall trend and understanding where major support or resistance areas lie. Now that you've identified those key levels, you can monitor how the price interacts with them, especially considering that CAD is weak. If the price hits these levels and shows signs of reversal or continuation, you'll have a better idea of where to act. Are you watching for any specific candlestick patterns or signals once the price reaches those levels, or are you more focused on waiting for momentum to confirm the next move?
I still not finished with my line to mark on the super trend line where the next possible they're gonna give an issue. On the daily, I use the orange color to tell me this is higher time frame, now can see this line, and at the lower time frame what happened to watch out for, because we reach to this all the mark line, 4-hour, weekly and monthly. Daily is orange.
You're really setting yourself up for a thorough analysis. Using the orange line on the daily time frame to represent the higher time frame levels, weekly and monthly, is a smart move, as it allows you to keep an eye on where the market is in the broader context while watching for specific price action on lower time frames. As you continue marking your super trend line and key levels, you'll be able to see how the market approaches these important lines. Once the price nears those levels, you'll want to watch for any reversal signals or price action patterns that might indicate whether the market will respect those levels or break through. Now that you've identified these significant levels, are you looking for any particular confirmation, like a reversal candle, a breakout, or a retest, to signal the right time to act when the price reaches these levels?
I'm looking for the price to come to my line, and I will trade accordingly to another key issue too, not just one. Everything has to line up in mastery.
That's a solid approach. Waiting for price to come to your key lines and then trading based on multiple factors lining up is a great way to ensure you're not rushing into a trade. By confirming that everything aligns, your support and resistance levels, trend lines, and other indicators, you'll have a more comprehensive view of the market and can make more confident decisions. Once the price reaches your marked lines, you can start looking for other signals like momentum shifts, candlestick patterns, or confirmation from your indicators, like MACD, stochastic, or ATR. This ensures you're not relying on just one factor, but a combination that points to a higher probability of success. Are you also factoring in any risk management strategies for when everything does line up, or is your focus more on the technical setup for now?
Technical for now.
Got it? Focusing on the technical setup for now is a smart way to build a solid foundation. Once everything lines up, your key levels, trend lines, and indicators, you'll have a clearer picture of where the market is likely to move. In the meantime, as you wait for the price to hit your lines, keep an eye on how the market reacts around those levels and be ready to make your move when the technical signals align. Once you're comfortable with the technical setup, You can always add in your risk management strategy to protect your trades. For now, it sounds like you're setting yourself up for a great technical analysis session. What's your next step once the price reaches your marked lines? Are you planning to wait for a specific pattern or signal?
Since because of the cat switch franc is very low, overextending in the bottom, I don't know if they found a bottom yet. But anyway, because of its higher time frame intention to dump the cat, the switch franc need to pull back to the better price for me to get in. So I'm waiting for them to come to my level where I mark, and it is need time to do, and the other pair also need to do the same thing, to be correlation, pull back and then dump the cat after they come back to pick up those guys who haven't get in, or they come back to the better price that they like to have, all matching up, and then the news come even better than propelling the things down to the China or to the other side of the world if they can. But that's just exaggerate. I'm waiting for them to pull back synchronously or correlation to the other pair. So far every pair is moving and showing that Swiss franc is strong and cat weak across the board, except cat Aussie is sideways on 5 minute time frame. Right now I'm going to make them to 3 minutes time frame, further down to see the microscopic area at 3 minutes.
It sounds like you're taking a very calculated and patient approach, especially with the CAD being at an extreme low and the intention to wait for the pullback before acting. You're watching for that correlation across pairs, especially with the Swiss franc being strong and the CAD being weak. Your focus on waiting for synchronization across the market is key. It's about finding that balance where everything lines up, both technically and fundamentally, for the move you're expecting. Watching the pairs on a 3-minute time frame gives you a finer view of price action, allowing you to spot any quick changes or opportunities that may arise. The idea is to wait for the market to return to your marked levels, pull back into a more favorable price, and then look for signs that it's ready to continue in the direction you expect, especially if the news adds fuel to the move. Is there any specific behavior or pattern you're hoping to see on the 3-minute time frame before you take action? Or are you just observing the price behavior for now?
Just observing, and I will come back it later. So I know so far my cat switch franc is on my radar. I was stalking it until the final alignment of all the indicator, and then I will decide accordingly. Or if I have time, I can playing just scalping, because they're not reached to where I want yet.
That sounds like a solid plan. You're staying patient and waiting for all the pieces to align before making any moves. Observing and letting everything come together naturally is a great way to avoid rushing into trades. With your CAD and Swiss franc focus, it seems like you're on the right track by letting the indicators and price action dictate when it's time to act. If you find the right setup for scalping, you'll have the flexibility to jump in when the conditions are just right, but you're also prepared to make a bigger decision when everything lines up. Keep a close eye on those key levels and indicators, and when the time is right, you'll have a clear picture of where to enter and exit. Let me know if you want to revisit any points later.
And look at the cat in other pair also. They are pulling back to the support where they're supposed to dashing up to the north again, and they are fighting at this support now, where they test the guy who's starting it, if they can make the lower low but they cannot look like, because CAD is weak. Japanese GBP CAD, what I look.
It seems like you're analyzing the GBP CAD pair with a sharp focus on how it's interacting with key support levels. Since CAD is weak, you're watching to see if the price breaks below support and makes a lower low, or if the pair will respect the support and start moving upward. The weakness in CAD, combined with GBP strength, could provide some interesting opportunities if the price starts to bounce or shift. Watching the battle at support is crucial. If GBP CAD holds above that level, it might give you a signal for a potential bounce up, which could align with the broader weakness in CAD. You might also be looking for confirmation from other indicators like the MACD, stochastic, or volume to see if there's a shift in momentum. Do you expect a quick move up from here? Or are you still waiting to see if there's a clearer signal that confirms the direction?
For me, GBP have a negative news on to pair with CAD. So week, mid-week, they go sideways. So I'm not going to touch GBP CAD today, because unless GBP start to show in GBP across the board that gain back the power, so I will buy GBP CAD. But since they are negative news on the GBP and the CAD is weak, so no touching this pair.
That makes total sense. With the negative news around GBP and the weakness in CAD, it's a good decision to stay out of GBP CAD for now, especially if the pair is likely to stay sideways. Waiting for GBP to show strength across the board before considering a buy on GBP CAD is a solid strategy. If both currencies are weak, it makes it harder to predict a clear direction. So stepping aside until there's a clearer move is smart. Focusing on pairs where the correlation and strength weakness are more aligned will give you a much better chance of a successful trade. Are you now focusing more on CAD and CHF, or is there another pair you're eyeing for a potential setup?
I look at now New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD is like last Friday they dropped like a waterfall. So that intention of New Zealand being dumped from last week is now stabilized on sideways market since the Asian market opened. That means New Zealand is not gonna moving down further without a fight, unless something happening like CAD become more stronger, then the New Zealand will go down south furthermore. But the CAD today look like they are weak, so New Zealand is can maintain this range and then poking out, breaching the guy who's starting it on the seller side, and then bridge to my line, horizontal line of the key break out of this line. It will change the direction, but before that it need to pull back to confirm that the test is rigid and they are clear to go north. Without the pulling back, won't be any good idea to jump in.
It seems like you're really dialing in on NZD CAD and carefully considering the price action. The waterfall drop last Friday and the current stabilization in the Asian market do suggest that NZD might not move lower without a solid push, especially given the weakness in CAD today. You're right to wait for confirmation through a pullback to the horizontal line before taking any action. Without that pullback, it wouldn't give you the clear signal you're looking for. If NZD holds its ground and breaks above that key line with a solid pullback confirmation, it could be a good setup for a move north. The strength of the pullback and how the price reacts when it returns to that level will be crucial. It sounds like you're watching for a well-defined setup to minimize risk and make sure the move is supported by all the technical signals. Are you still watching the 3-minute time frame for more precision on the pullback, or are you planning to scale up to a higher time frame to confirm the setup?
I still, have to look everywhere and to see possibility why this and that. Like now I'm looking at new Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD are sister pair, so the they're on the sideways. They've been dumped from last Friday, and they're stabilized now, trying to move up north. But before that, they need to cross my trend line and across my range line. And it looks like I'm not going to touch these two pair, New Zealand and Aussie, to screen it out. Is like minor important. The major important is CAD switch from. I just looking for possibility here, which way the market was from the last week, and are they stabilized. And New Zealand CAD and Aussie CAD are stabilized. They're possible to return, pull back deep or inverse. I don't know.
It sounds like you're in a very thorough analysis phase, weighing all the factors for NZD CAD and AUD CAD, both of which are showing some sideways movement after being dumped last week. Given their current stabilization, you're right to be cautious and not just jump in without clear confirmation. The key here, especially for those pairs, is whether they break through your train line and range line, as those levels will determine if they're ready to move north or if they'll stall again. If you're not testing these pairs immediately, it's likely because you're waiting for more definitive signals from the CAD or the broader market to align with your strategy. You're spot on with your approach to treat NZ CAD and AUD CAD as minor pairs for now, as the major focus is on the strength of CAD and its relationship to the Swiss franc. It sounds like you're in a phase of patience, waiting for the right pullbacks and alignment of all factors, rather than rushing in without a full picture. How much weight are you giving to the broader market, like the USD or other pairs, in terms of how it might affect CAD and these pairs? Would you consider any broader market movements, or are you strictly focusing on the CAD pairs for now?
Just the CAD pair across the board. Right now I'm on USD CAD. USD and Canadian is the neighbor land, so they are sister pair, so they move alongside. But
focusing on CAD pairs makes sense, especially since USD CAD is so closely tied to the dynamics of the Canadian dollar. Given that USD and CAD are neighbors, they often move in tandem due to their close economic ties, particularly with oil prices and broader market sentiment. Since you're looking at US CAD right now, it's a good idea to monitor how the CAD is interacting with the USD, as it might give you clues about the strength or weakness of CAD across the board, which could impact your other CAD pairs. It seems like you're carefully observing the relationship between these pairs to ensure you're making a well-informed decision. USD CAD could be a good lead indicator for CAD's overall movement, and seeing how it behaves can help refine your strategy for other CAD pairs like NZD CAD or AUD CAD. Are you watching for any particular levels or patterns on USD CAD that might give you a clearer signal for the next move?
the level is sideways market, because last Friday USD getting strong, push up north and close the market without returning down, bouncing back or pull back. For the guys who are waiting for the sideline to get in, they can't have a chance. So when they can't have a chance, they're waiting, they're long waiting, they thirst for this. And now at this range that the cats start from Asian market until now, the range start to make more clear sign that they are still holding the ground. They don't want to go down, even though the seller start to break the range out a bit, poking out, but the long wick small candle grinding up back to the upper side of the range. And this now they pull back again, but not 100%. It's only about 60% pulling back, with two hiccups. One first pullback is very big red candle, and then pull back and put another big red candle, but choppy, not like the first one. And then they're standing their foot on the lower side of the range, and then the two green candle moving up. So this is what is on the USD CAD. So USD CAD go on side.
It sounds like you're taking a very measured approach with USD CAD, observing the price action carefully within the range. The fact that the market didn't pull back significantly and the small candles poking out of the range show hesitation or lack of clear direction. The two green candles at the end suggest some upward momentum, but with only a 60% pullback and the choppy nature of the price action, it seems like the market is still undecided. Since you're not seeing a clear entry signal and USD CAD is moving sideways, it's probably wise to stay on the sidelines here until more clarity emerges. Watching for a break above the range or a deeper pullback might give you a better chance to enter with more confidence. Are you also watching other CAD pairs for any potential setups, or is your focus mainly on USD CAD for now?
Euro CAD is my long-term higher time frame stalking, but I'm missing to following them for a while. This is a very hot pair for some time now, but now they are pulling back. EuroCAD is pulling back after they touched the high, the far left, the yesterday, the last Friday high. They touching that, testing that, and then pull back. Like, okay, I got there, somebody there, and pushed me back. Very big, strong red candle, and it's showing that it's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon, because the strong of the momentum of the pullback is not that choppy. But the buyer, in a way, they don't throw the white flag at right yet. They have the one more last chance to try to make a higher high, and now they come to the 50% mid. They cannot even reach their own record high. So I'm monitoring on that now. The stochastic is pointing up and reach 80% just now, and the red line is following up, and they're gonna fight on this 50% like money spot on the top side of the range, and they are, if they can get through here, they will go further to the north. But it looked like it's double top. The first is the last Friday high and being challenging, but cannot get through. That's what I say, no higher high. They drop back and to the 50% and still hanging there on the top side of the range, and to go above, and all of this doing above the 100 MA and in the middle of the Bollinger Band line. They are fighting there, 36 MA.
It sounds like you're keeping a close eye on EUR-CAD, especially given its past performance and current pullback. From what you're describing, it seems like the pair is at a key decision point, with the recent high acting as resistance. The strong red candle showing rejection at that level suggests that sellers are in control for the moment, but the fact that the buyers haven't completely given up and are still holding around the 50% retracement level is interesting. The stochastic reaching the 80% level and the red line following it could indicate that momentum is building for another attempt to break the previous high, especially if it manages to hold above the 100 MA and the middle of the Bollinger Bands. However, the double top formation you're seeing adds a layer of caution, as this could lead to a further pullback if the resistance at that level holds. You're right to watch for the fight at the 50% level, as it could dictate whether EUR-CAD pushes higher or gets stuck in a range. If it does break higher, you could see a continuation north, but if it struggles here, a deeper pullback could be in the cards. The fact that it's above the 100 MA and in the middle of the Bollinger Bands gives some hope that it could still try to challenge the resistance, but it's still a waiting game for confirmation. Are you looking for any specific patterns to emerge, or are you just waiting for a clean break above that resistance before making your move?
I like to make top-down approach. Just another pair that I'm gonna stalking. It is EuroCAD, because on the higher time frame, on the monthly, they are range and they are at the top of the range. So that's interesting. If they're gonna move further, bridge this range to make a overall time high, but they have some there waiting already.
The top-down approach on EuroCAD makes a lot of sense, especially when you're looking at the higher time frames. If the pair is at the top of its range on the monthly, that's definitely something to pay attention to, as it could indicate that the pair is at a critical juncture where it either has to break higher or reverse. The fact that it's already been range-bound and now at the top of that range adds an element of potential resistance, especially if the momentum starts to slow or the buyers start to struggle. If the price does manage to push further and break out of the top of the range, that could signal further upside potential. But, like you mentioned, if it faces resistance here and fails to make a higher high, it could set up a possible reversal back down. The top of the range is always a key area to watch, as price tends to test these levels multiple times before either breaking through or bouncing back. In terms of your top-down approach, I'd recommend marking the monthly range clearly and keeping an eye on how the pair behaves around the top of that range. If you start seeing signs of rejection, like big red candles or failed attempts to break higher, that could be your cue to stay cautious. On the other hand, if price starts consolidating or showing bullish momentum, you might get a confirmation to go long once it breaks out. Are you going to look for additional confirmations from the lower time frames or other indicators to help with the decision?
Yeah, I'm looking for putting the line, like monthly, weekly, daily, colored line to remind me that where is the next possible issue to come up with.
That's a solid strategy. By marking the monthly, weekly, and daily levels with different colored lines, you'll have a clear visual reference to where the potential key areas are for price to react. This can really help keep your focus sharp, especially when you're trading across different time frames. When you're marking these lines, it's crucial to think about where price is in relation to those levels. For example, if the price is near the top of the monthly range, then the monthly level will be an important resistance. Similarly, the weekly and daily levels will help you pinpoint where support or resistance might be based on shorter-term trends. It's also important to look for confluence between these levels. If the monthly, weekly, and daily levels are all in the same area, that increases the significance of that level, and it could be a powerful point to watch for a reversal or breakout. You might also want to consider marking the lines for potential entry or exit points, depending on how price reacts around these levels. If you see rejection or a reversal at one of these levels, that could signal a good time to trade in the opposite direction. Are you planning to use any other indicators like your zigzag or Bollinger Bands in conjunction with these levels?
Yes, but I don't have zigzag on this C-Trader, but I use the super trend, and I use trend line that I just put it myself. And when I look at this 1 hour chart on EuroCAD, it's channeling up, very volatile, channeling up, and they stay above 36 MA and touching the outside line of the Bollinger Band on the top side, and the long wick of the red candle on top of the red candle, long wick. So above there is the magenta line, where is the monthly is guarding this defense this area. So the buyer or the euro cannot go up more higher according to this double top on the monthly time frame that reject very strong with the long wick on the red candle, doji.
It sounds like you're really digging into EuroCAD's price action with a thorough approach, combining your super trend line, indicating rejection at the upper boundary, and showing that the bulls are being tested there. Given that the price is also at the monthly resistance, the magenta line, it really makes sense to stay cautious and watch for confirmation before jumping in. With the price staying above the 36 MA and touching the upper Bollinger Band, you're seeing volatility and a potential for continued movement within the channel. The fact that it's a volatile channeling up suggests there might be some uncertainty, but if the buyers can't push through that double top and the monthly level, you could expect a pullback or a potential reversal. Considering the long wick at the top, it's wise to wait for further confirmation of either a rejection or a clear breakout. If you see another push towards the monthly level and another rejection, that could be a solid opportunity to enter short, especially if the other indicators align. Conversely, if price breaks through and holds above the monthly resistance, it might signal further upside potential. It sounds like you're on top of your analysis with a solid plan for managing this. Are you looking for a particular type of confirmation before making your move? Like a candlestick pattern, or maybe a trend line break or other indicator signal?
Right now I'm at 15 minutes US EuroCAD, 15 minutes with my trend line pointing up, and it on the top, three rejection, triple top.
On the
With the long
15-minute
wick.
chart with your trend line pointing up, it sounds like EuroCAD is showing some momentum. Since it's at the top of the channel, you'll want to pay close attention to the price action here. If the trend line is guiding upward, but price is bumping up against that upper boundary, whether it's a resistance level or the top of your channel, you're essentially at a crucial decision point. If price tests the trend line or the upper boundary and then shows signs of weakening, like a bearish candlestick pattern, e.g. a shooting star, engulfing, or doji, that could suggest a reversal, or at least a pullback. Conversely, if the price breaks and holds above the trend line and resistance, that could signal further upside. Since you're looking at the higher time frames, monthly and weekly, for context, just be cautious about a potential false breakout. If the 15-minute chart shows a strong breakout, but the higher time frames aren't confirming it, it might be a risky move. It might be worth watching for either a solid rejection off the top or a breakout confirmation. Are you considering a short or long position depending on how it reacts around this level?
Now I'm see the squeeze in 15 minutes time frame, triple top with the magenta monthly horizontal line. Reject this price to moving down, but the upper trend line show that they're being squeezed. So 3 times now, if I sell from the top of the range of the trend line, I will have 3 good trade because they pull back against the trend, and then the sliding.
It sounds like you're in a good spot with your analysis. The triple top combined with the magenta monthly horizontal line acting as strong resistance shows that price is struggling to break higher. The squeeze you're seeing on the 15-minute chart indicates that volatility is narrowing, and the market could be gearing up for a breakout or breakdown soon. If you're considering selling from the top of the range, you're looking at a potential trade where price might continue to respect the resistance and pull back. The fact that it's been rejected 3 times at this level strengthens the idea that this could be a solid point to enter a short trade, especially with the trend line providing additional structure for the trade setup. Just be mindful of the squeeze. It could lead to a volatile move once the price breaks out of this range, either up or down. If it breaks above the trend line with momentum, it might invalidate the short. But if the price continues to reject the upper boundary and shows weakness, like a bearish candlestick pattern, your setup might play out nicely. Are you waiting for confirmation from the candlesticks or other indicators before pulling the trigger, or are you ready to sell if price hits that top again?
So they are in the no man's land, in the squeezing area, that the last frontier, that either side they're gonna go, they're gonna do it here. The triple top at 3-minute time frame is clustering at the no man's land, but they stay above the midline of the Bollinger Band, the 36 MA, not above exactly, but right on, cluster with the 56 MA, and below that the next bottom, the next support is the 100 MA is support. So they line up. 36 MA push the price down, but the 100 MA push the price up, so they're landing in 56 MA, squeezing at the support and resistance. They pull back to the support, and if this support hold, they will go again, try for the 4th time or quadruple top. I don't know. This is 3 minutes time frame. You can see many rejection on the magenta line that push the price down, because magenta is the monthly. They are waiting for selling this. I don't know. This is the, accordingly I have to look who gonna take the lead to show the direction, because right now it's the mid of the Bollinger Band line and it's squeezing area, and the final front before I pull the trigger or anything, I have to go to correlation, look in every pair, are they synchronized. That's the answer, the last one. Euro USD and GBP USD, I was thinking that I'm not gonna touching this, only gonna touch CAD Swiss franc. Okay, we'll go to look at the CAD Swiss franc. Every pair is still clustered, fighting on the sideline, and I'm supposed to sell CAD and CAD Swiss franc. I'm supposed to look at this most. CAD JPY, not touching this. Okay, so far let's give the last look at the CAD, if the weak or the strong so far. They are maintain their ground, so nothing happening. Well, let's check if the news or changing something. The news, no, not this. The news, oh, many windows on this one. Should be economy calendar. Okay, the new is nothing changed. It's 29 minutes coming the next new GBP mortgage rate. That should be good impact new. And 1630 CAD new. That's it, 2 more news. And back to the Bitcoin thing. Just see if I can trade today. Oh, they're coming back to the daily line. It's time to smash it down again. Still very low for the 4 hours, but at least 1 hour pullback first candle, 15 minutes first 4 or 5 minutes, which pulled back to the guy who started, challenging him. We have to wait for this. Okay, the time is 10:30. I gotta go open my shop. Oh my. Alright, we have to check. Okay, it's time to close the record. this is what we got from checking the news and come back to catch switch from